Hello, hello. This podcast, Understanding Elon Musk, and I want to return to my space subject, UFOs, but maybe first talk about solar panels. I had a rant about solar panels. You heard in the previous one about the investor meeting, and let me more explain why solar panels is so important, also for space and for Mars and for other places. There are a lot of so the battery system that Tesla is making and people are using is to compensate for overproduction or underproduction of the electricity network we have in the world, and also for like if you have a system that makes very much energy at a specific time and then no energy at the other time, you need to store it like a windmill. If you have a windmill now, if it is like a storm, they even switch it off. And if it is too much, they use a heater or a heater element and just dissipate the energy that they cannot store or cannot use. Of course, then if you have a battery, you can store it there. And if the battery is full, again, you have to use a heater to get away, get the energy away from the system. So it would be ideal that you can use all the energy. So that's it. And also people don't know that if you have like solar panels and it is light outside, like a little bit cloudy, the efficiency is very bad. So if you want to make all the time, when it is daytime, electricity, even if it is cloudy, you need a much bigger system and maybe also different panels. So maybe that is also something they have to think about, different panels. Also, because it is more dim light, you need probably a different chemistry or something to make it more efficient, and there are very efficient solar panels, but maybe there's another trick to do that. And if you go to Mars, it is 7 times less power there. So it means you need 7 times more solar panels on Mars to get the same power output here on Earth. And then I think the mistake is the equator. Maybe if you have not a good place on Mars, that you need even more than 6 times. Also the problems here with solar is if you want to run everything on solar, and I think this is still the best solution, better than wind, you need much more than that is said, that you only need 1/5 of a percent of the surface of the Earth for the power of humanity. This is, I think, only if you build all the power plants and everybody is living at the equator where there's a maximum output of sun and you have 12 hours a day sun, then it is maybe correct. I think if you're more realistic and you have times that it is like 2 weeks no sun, or you cannot produce power, and you can see that in the northern countries like Sweden or like other countries in the north, those, if they want to run the whole country on a solar panel, it is more than 1% of the country size, I think, you need for solar panels. So then you need the sea, of course, and I think for the northern countries it is much more important that they invest in more efficient panels, or find another way to solve this solar problem. You can make it more efficient, or you can make it cheaper, or you can make something that you can place it everywhere, make a paint, or make something, a film that you can, that everything that is exposed to light can generate electricity. And then of course you need all kinds of systems that connect all this power generation to one network. I previously talked about systems that if there is maybe somebody who can make power and that can only be stored at their system, maybe people think, this is nonsense. It's not nonsense. I will explain you. You can of course maybe also that will be in the future, that if you have a solar panel on the top of your roof, and the energy company wants to know if that gets energy, where does it come from? How do you do that? I think you can do that by normal networks work with 60 or 70 hertz of electricity, because it is not direct current, but it is the other current, AC. It is AC current. So on AC current at the 60 hertz, you can put another signal on top of it. And you can of course think, okay, what kind of signal? Some people put internet on it. You can in the house put a module there, a router that you can move your internet over the consent of your house, so that it's easy. In old days that was used. You can also imagine that if you generate energy, that you put also a specific high frequency signal on top of your power that you produced, and then of course you can imagine if you have a battery and it reads first this high frequency signal, then it knows if it can use it or not. Hey, then you have and also the energy company knows exactly how much energy comes where. If you maybe you will of course get that if you get currency added, you also add this high frequency signal with it. So it probably will get the technology has to be something like blockchain or something, a little bit more complex. But I think it will be possible, especially if you have AI. It will find a way that it can see which kind of current of energy is produced by which solar panel. I think in the future you can see at the electricity company or the storage company which the electricity where it really comes from. Comes it from which solar panel, from which house? It can exactly track every electricity energy where it comes from, with embedding a signal into the electricity itself. I think that will be possible. I think only one guy or few guys that are smart have to invent that, and I think a lot of people will have a problem. Yeah, if they can track money, why don't they want to track electricity? So now the story changes for Tesla. That means they have to generate energy themselves to charge their batteries. And you can imagine if you are a city or a country and you have energy problems because everybody is charging their Powerwall or something else. It is not used to use, but to store it and sell it later back to them. And the company themselves wants to do that, but users want to also do that because they want to make money with that way. You can imagine that if they have this identifier of the electricity, and they will of course make it mandatory that if you pull electricity from the net, that you can only get energy that has a specific ID. And you can imagine if late at night you want to charge your car, and they change the specific ID to it, and you put your car in the consent, or you want to charge it, that it will not be charged, because at that moment maybe the electricity company or somebody else want to charge it, and they just switch you off. I think you pay for electricity, yeah, your house will run, because that will be okay, because it knows you will use it for the house, for the lights, and for living. But if you want to use it to make money, like a storage, they can block it. I think that is not so difficult to make. There will be some problems, but if it doesn't, but this will be a concern. So now your private storage can only be used for the power you make yourself, and that's why solar panels will be very important. Make your own power to store in your own system and use it yourself. That will be very important. That's why I was so mad that there was nothing, that Elon Musk doesn't think about solar panels, because he's an energy company, some people say, but this is not an energy company, they're a storage company. They don't store clothes of the energy, but they don't make it themselves. So this is also of course very important, energy on Mars. And also for aliens, energy is also for UFOs, and for if you want to make a colonization on Mars and on the moon, energy will be the most important thing. Because with energy and material you can make anything. You can make oxygen, you can make food, all is depending on energy. And if you want to make energy in space, you don't have wind. So that windmill on the top of your spaceship will not rotate. So you need something else, and that are the photons, and that is light. Maybe they find some else. People think, oh, what is it? Some gravity or 0-point energy stuff. All nice, but is it realistic for the moment? No, and especially if you stay in the neighborhood of a star or our sun, then yes, you will use for your energy. You use the sun, the fusion reactor in the sky. You also then know if you are aliens and you want to attack a planet, or you are traveling and you use energy, what is your energy source that is rarely available? Look at the number of stars. Yeah, a star will be your energy source for your intergalactic a spaceship force or something. So you will use literally the sun or the stars as a tanking a place where you tank up your ship for energy, because there's a lot of energy there. You charge your ship with it and you can travel with it. And you can imagine if you have a very big ship, you can maybe eat a whole star or a whole star in it. And you can also then understand that if you fluctuate the energy of the sun, you directly impact all life in that solar system. And why would you why would you invade or do difficult to conquer something if you're only there for energy? Yeah, what I already said. If you can eat up a whole star as fuel, you just do it, and humans never know what happened, and they all frozen to the planet, and everything is frozen here. No star, and they have energy, and they can travel again. Huh? And they didn't even know that there was something living here. Or maybe they knew, but no interest, because it was not intelligent enough to stop them. Huh? So, energy is very important. And now we think, of course, it is. We are finding out it's not in abundance. There is a price to pay, pollution, and I think in the future we will also find out that we have to protect our sun. The sun and coronal mass explosions, all this stuff. We need to learn more about the sun, and that is because that will be the energy. That will be the biggest energy source for our civilization, and. Yeah, I have to trade something. Okay. Okay. So our civilization will be very dependent on energy. And if you look at what is the best energy to really develop, I think it is not wind, it is not tidal, it is sun. It is because wind, tidal is all it comes all from the light from the sun. So if you just focus on one piece of innovating the best energy source, it has to be light, it has to be solar panels or something like that. And in space, you can use a nuclear plant or something, but if you can use solar, it is easier. It is because, yeah. So you will see that all the satellites are working, 99.999% works with solar panels, and I think also the colonies on Mars and on other planets will be also powered with sun, with light energy, and maybe some of them that are more dark, they maybe use nuclear or something like that, fusion reactors, but they will be rare, I think. Maybe only, I think civilization, colonization will be difficult if you only can, your whole energy source will be only nuclear or only fusion. It's much better that it is like sun powered. You can then also imagine that if you have a future civilization, they will see that the stars, they will travel from star to star. They know there are planets, but what I already said, the place where they can get the energy from is from the star, so they will be only focusing on the star. And if you park your spaceship close to the star, because there is close to the star there are no planets, so it's also safe to jump if you have a jumping system that you can jump near the star. And there are some people looking at near the sun if there are UFOs there, and I think if you want to look for UFOs that visit our solar system or our planet, you have to look at the sun, because that's where they park, and that's probably where they power up their ships and their traveling method, because that is a lot of energy and it is easy to drain or to get. And if you don't know, the church, I call it the Pope in Italy. So the church is always looking at the sun. Some people say it is because of the spots, because in the old days the sunspots could predict a new king or some future prediction. It was always red in the sun, but I think they are looking for something else that is around the sun or in front of the sun, and it has nothing to do with prediction. So, because I think the church and some other organizations are much more smarter than knows things that maybe we don't know. Because if you would always look at the sun, if there is something there, out there, that wants to visit us in a physical form, you will see it near the sun first. I think that is and they can also nicely cloak. We can go behind the sun so you don't see it. So maybe if you really want to protect the Earth, or you want to know really everything about this, about if there are aliens or something, place 3 satellites around the sun. You have the sun in the middle, and then you do here, here, and here, so you can all see all sides of the sun. If you have like 3 satellites or 4 satellites of that, or maybe more, maybe 6 satellites, you put them in orbit around the sun, that they can see all the sides of the sun continuously. I think in a few years you will see something. I think if there are UFOs or something is passing regular through this solar system, you will catch them. You will not catch them on the planet. That will be rare. And it will probably be a probe or something strange, or not big. I think the bigger things, if there is aliens, intelligence, spaceships, if you all think a big spaceship, they will be parked near the sun, not behind the moon or near a planet. You want to if you want to gasoline up your spaceship, you put it as close as possible to the place where the energy is, and that is the sun. So you only, if you want to have a program, America or Russia or China, you want to study if UFOs are real, all you have to do is send some satellites in orbit around the sun and try to record as much as possible data there, and look if you see something strange there. I think you have AI these days, AI for image, you can check the image if there's something strange going on. And if it finds an anomaly, it waits until it can see the Earth, and it sends this video images to the Earth, and they will see if there is something strange there. And I think if you do that for a few years, maybe 5 years, if you will see if there is something there on a regular basis. Because a lot of people think UFOs, they're always there. You look at the old paintings, you see UFOs. Now there are UFOs that would implement that they are always here, and they're looking a long time. They are here in our presence, nearby. Now in a place where it's nearby, they are not hiding behind the moon or under the sea. They are parked on the other side of the sun, of course, or near the sun, because they need energy. Solar panels, they need energy, but they will use not solar panels, but they use something else. I think they just, I think they maybe are gas guzzlers. They use the fuel of the sun to fuel their spaceships. So maybe are not so green. Maybe they are not green. we are thinking green, but maybe the green people are not green. The aliens, they probably have another color, maybe red. I don't know. So so also for UFOs, energy and solar will be important. You can imagine that they will have a totally different way of storing and making. You would think, I think for UFOs and for spaceships, they only store energy. They don't make it. And if people say, yeah, they can get them with antimatter or something, I don't think that's needed. I think you can make a very efficient spaceship that only needs, if you jump, for example, that's why you need the energy, from jumping from one place to another place. Why don't you, for example, you need a lot of energy, so the energy you cannot get from the sun, from solar. You go to the sun and you tank up, you get the fuel there, you get the power from the sun directly, from the star directly. So then you push away from a clear distance from that star, you aim where you want to go, and you use that energy that is stored like in a battery. You go to the next star. You go to the next star, you go in orbit around the sun again, around that sun or that star, and you tank up again and you go to the next jump. So you jump from star to star to star. I think that is much more realistic than if you see these spaceship movies that they jumping somewhere in space in the middle of nowhere, and then they jump to the middle of nowhere. I think they jump from star to star, because that is the gasoline station. They jump from gasoline station to gasoline station. The same with the car. You just imagine you are driving with a car on the road. You stop by a gasoline station. You tank up. You have some jerry cans in the back. You fill them up. you drive for a while, and your tank run out, and you fill with the gasoline jerry cans again, and you drive again, and then you fill up. You don't do that. You have a tank that is big enough, and you can go from gasoline station to gasoline station. So that's also I think what aliens will do. They will jump from star to star, or from where they get maybe from black hole to black hole. Maybe some very big spaceships or civilizations that are much more advanced. They jump from the black hole to another black hole, and they can get the energy from the black hole instead of maybe the star. The stars are not they don't produce energy enough to run their engines, so they need black holes probably to start up their engines, and they jump from black hole to black hole, and the smaller ships jump from star to star, and that's it. I think they have maybe a simpler propulsion to travel inside of a solar panel, or I think they are not even interested in the dead space between stars. Maybe there is something there, but probably it is there so cold and there is no energy. So even if you would say, we will hide in a star far away from the star, if you have no energy, you have no heat, so you need to have like something that can produce really power out of nothing, and that would be much too difficult. So I think all civilizations will be living around stars, and I think also if you want to make forward in the future the Earth, you want to live in space like Blue Origin once with Jeff Bezos. You want to have like space colonies or big space stations. You put them near the sun. You don't put them near after Pluto where there is no sun, because you need energy. And where do you get energy? From the sun. So you place them near the sun at a nice distance, so you get the maximum amount of energy. So it is easy. Your energy problem will be solved in that way. And maybe so you plot a route, maybe the same distance from the sun as the Earth is, and you just put like a ring in the ring distance of the Earth from the sun. You put in that circle, you put some big space stations, some tubes, some what is the living spaces, big living space stations in that area. Or maybe a little bit closer, a little bit hotter. This may be better and for easier to generate energy. So that will be our future, I think. So if we even Mars, I think can be a problem because you need more. If you really want to have energy, you need to build 7 times more solar panels. And if it is a problem here on Earth to build for a colony solar panels, then you need to do it 7 times or maybe 10 times more on Mars, and that would be really a problem. So if you really want to colonize Mars, you have to really have a very fast, easy way to generate solar panels and build them with the resources there. And also on the moon, I think you also need to, maybe the best experiment is to build a solar panel fabric on the moon and start planting the moon full with solar panels, so you have an energy source there. For the ships that will want to go to Mars, so something like that. And also, if you do that, the sun, we will have not a full moon, because all the light of the moon will be absorbed by the solar panels. They are black, so we will have always a black moon. So it will be not so it will be not so light at night by a full moon, but the moon will be covering slowly and slowly up by solar panel farms. And yeah, just imagine that you maybe can write something on the moon with solar panels. Yeah, maybe a Coca-Cola sign or some other commercial. You make a big solar farm in a specific form, and you get maybe get paid by that. But yeah, that is just an imagination. But you understand, solar is it is not only solar, it is also star and sun. That is the most important energy source in the future. And of course there will be something like maybe some 0-point energy, but it's same as Tesla. Is it, if you can travel all over the galaxy with absorbing a star or absorbing a black hole, or you have to do something crazy like 0-point energy, yeah, let AI, because I think humans, I think a normal biological life form cannot make something, an engine that can do this. It has to be something like artificial intelligence, or even the aliens will have artificial intelligence to make these designs of these spaceships. So they will find maybe a very simple or better way to make that. And even then, I think they will still, AI will still find the simplest way to do it. And I think that will be probably use the sun as a fuel station, and for bigger ships maybe black holes. And that is what we probably what we are seeing as UFOs is probably probes from ships that are visiting us, and they park the ship around the sun. When they're fueling up, they have some time, and they just send some probes to this planet. I see some life there. Oh, look, there are some ants making playing with atomic weapons. Oh, nice. Okay, we go. It's almost full. Up, go. Now they know, and we see UFO and panic all around it. They're just looking, checking on us how we are doing. And that is probably, if UFOs really exist and aliens exist, that would be via the visiting us, and that's what probably, if there are really UFOs and aliens that we are seeing, that would probably what it is and what it is all about. It is just on the way to the supermarket, you pass an anthill. Oh, look, nice, and you walk further. So that is probably why they don't have any interest in us at all. And that for us is very interesting. You just imagine if you're an ant, you see this big human walking by, stopping, looking at you. Oh my God! And it walks further away. So that's probably also what is going to happen. And if the governments and really people are really want to, scientists really want to know if this is the case, and it is logical that if aliens are existing, that they will use a star to power their spaceships. You just monitor. You do a spy cam that you have in your garden to look for tanokis, for raccoons or something. You put some spy cams on all the positions around the sun, and you look if there's something near the sun fueling up, and you know, okay, they exist. Or if you don't see anything in 10 years, and there was some, then you know, okay, there's probably nothing there. And if you, I expect that they probably will see something, and so that will be very nice. And it is not even so expensive. I think Electron, or maybe a private mission from SpaceX, or can use small satellites. You can launch them. You can put them in orbit around the sun, that they have a totally coverage of the sun. And you can record. They need some space for data storage, and you can imagine that you use an AI, and if there's something strange there, it records. Let's continue like a security camera. If it sees something, it will record it, and if it is near the Earth, it will send this data to the Earth, and it will update it, or it can send to another satellite. So, like Starlink, you make a group of maybe 150 satellites around the sun. If one satellite sees something, it sends it to another satellite that is near to the Earth, and it can have contact to the Earth and send the data there. Because if this satellite is behind the sun, it doesn't see the Earth, it cannot communicate to the Earth, and then it can hop through other satellites around it, and until it hits a satellite that sees that can transmit to the Earth and send what it sees to the Earth. And I think this project is not even so expensive. It can maybe be crowdsourced, and then we know if there is something visiting us. So I think it's also strange that America or China or Russia didn't think of it. Maybe they think of it. I think the church is already looking all those years to the sun. So it is not for nothing, and I think that's the reason why they're looking at the sun. Maybe if there's something there out there, that you will see it there, and not the easiest to find. So you look at this is the same. If you look at animals in the forest, and there is water there. There's a small water place. Every animal has to drink. So all those animals, lions or other animals, will go to that place to drink water. So why do you observe? If you want to know what is living in that forest and drinks water, you place some cameras around that place, that water place, and you see all animals coming to that water place drinking water. So the same thing. If you think, I think the sun is a gasoline station for spaceships in the future, or if you think that, then what do? The same. You put cameras around it and look if you can catch them on camera, or with other methods you can catch them. Maybe they are cloaked or something, but I think maybe they're not even cloaked for that. So that's my talk about UFOs and also a little bit of solar. I think the stock will go with Tesla. I think a lot of people don't understand it and they expected more. I was a little bit disappointed that only Texas was announced. I hope he will quickly announce Indonesia if he wants to build something in Indonesia, but I hope he will. Also, it is what he was also saying, people don't understand. I think the new form factor for the car is not that important. If you can reduce the cost half of the car that is now, you're already there. So if you want to really reduce the new platform, I think if it is $10,000, yeah, then it is interesting. $20,000, I think he can already get that with the innovation he has now with the factory. He can innovate the factory, innovate the product. If he innovates everything he can innovate with battery and everything for making the Teslas he has now, he can halve the price now, I think, or maybe get very close to halving the price. Now that is exactly the price of the new platform. So if you would buy a new make a new platform, make it much cheaper. And maybe that is the limit. Maybe it's the cost of the material. He's coming maybe close to it, and then yeah, but they all are saying that this has become a skateboard, so where you can build up other designs in other cars, and maybe then it is good time to sell it to the skateboard to other car companies like BMW or Volkswagen and Ford and GM, Toyota and other companies that want to have it, because if he really wants to have everything on electric, and these companies are already used to use suppliers for their cars, they probably also want to go and see with Tesla to get their engine and their the car electronics and car stuff from Tesla. And what they do is just put a shell on it and some extra software or some extra design. The same as with sports shoes. In reality, all sports shoes are the same. It is only the logo that is different and a little bit the material. But if you really look at it, they are almost all the same. So maybe that will be the future for the brands that are now existing. I think it will be even from Ferrari to Volkswagen to Toyota. They probably will all have a specific skateboard from Tesla. Maybe it makes a few skateboards for performance cars, for long range cars, for reliable cars, we can imagine, for ambulances or for police cars, and some cheap cars, not cheap cars, but compact cars. So they make maybe a few skateboards. They use them themselves. And if other car companies are interested, they can sell this to those car companies, and they can use it as the platform where they can build up their own cars. So that's it. I added something from Tesla to it, and UFOs. Look at the sun. That's my advice. And the churches are already looking at it for years, 10 times, hundreds of years maybe.